If you clicked on this video, it means you're probably interested in making your own game. Well, this is the first video of a new tutorial series on this channel where we're going to go from having no understanding of how to make a game to releasing your own finished product. Now, before you even clicked on this video, you probably already have an idea of what you want to make, roughly. Everybody has that one dream game you want to make, so you probably have a setting, genre, theme, mood, story, all that sort of stuff. You might even already have knowledge as to how to use an engine or how to program, how to do level design, how to 3D model, all of those things. Now, all of those things are things that you'll need to know to make your own game, and I will be going into them each specifically in their own videos down the line, but I wanted to talk about something else today. This is something that is very important to understand before you actually go and start making anything. This is a bar representing the entirety of the game development pipeline. It is split up into 3 separate stages: pre-production, production, and post-production, all combining and leading up to the final copy of the game, the Gold Master as it's called. For the next couple of videos in this series, we'll be focusing specifically on this because understanding it is as important as any skill you could have. Let's start here. Pre-production. This is what most people would consider the most boring stage of development, and so a lot of teams will blaze through this way too quickly and go into production unprepared. And while this phase is boring, it is in my opinion the most important, because the #1 reason why teams fail is improper planning. This leaves them subject to a lot of problems down the line, like vision, scope, time management, feature creep. So what should an ideal pre-production phase actually look like? Well, there are 2 main goals of this phase: finding the fun of the game through prototypes and creating a bunch of documentation that can be referred to later. I'll be going specifically into how to make prototypes and documentation in later videos, but if I did it all in this video, it'd be an hour long. This brings us to the next phase of development: production. The success of this phase is largely based on how well planned out everything is from the last one, which is why I stress the importance of pre-production. The goal of this phase is to build a strong content complete version of the game, or what is called a beta. This means you can play the game from beginning to end and everything that's supposed to be in the game is there. There still has to be work done in post-production like polishing and bug fixing to get the game ready for release, but at the end of this phase it should be playable. Next is the final phase of development: post-production. Here's where you should start to expand the scope of your marketing using up-to-date game footage. It is very important to the success of your game that you don't continue to add new things. Everything being changed is for the sake of polish. This is stuff like fixing bugs, maybe adding an extra couple art assets that weren't fully done at the end of the beta, adding some final sound effects, that sort of stuff. As fun as it might be to add new features here, if you overscope too much, your game will never get done. And so finally, after all that, if you successfully made it through every phase, at the end of the day, you should have a finished game. Now, this video is rather short and is a lot shorter than the rest of the videos in this tutorial series will be, but it's very important that you understand the game development pipeline before you go and make your game. In the next video, I'll be talking specifically about the pre-production phase of development, how to make a good prototype, how to make good documentation, all that sort of stuff. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, consider subscribing to keep in touch, all that sort of YouTube stuff that people say, it all helps the channel. But with all that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Later.